Hello, are you out there? It's Mark with Redo Over, and we are back to Stellaris 4.2 now. The Infernals lava creature species DLC just came out. I didn't get it. Looks cool though. Looks interesting. I know. Did I see it for $40? Is that typical that a species pack is 40? For some reason, I always thought the species packs were the cheapest ones, but maybe it has a lot of like content, extra stuff in it. So that's cool. Folks, let me know if it's cool. I haven't bought a DLC for Stellaris in probably the last couple of years. I'm behind on a lot of them, but that's why we play vanilla. Here we go. Where do we leave off? We were just gonna run the clock because we talked about diplomatic stuff for most of last episode.
Incoming transmission.
Here we go. It looks like we are already getting rewarded for some of our diplomatic stuff. Embassy. This is the Kendergen Democratic Sons. As long as we stand together, nothing can threaten the Kendergen Democratic Sons in the Principality of Fula. Establishing an embassy with them, perfect. Let's say okay. And I know through our diplomatic tradition tree, we're going to get some embassy benefits, like some extra unity. So I'm not sure where you see embassies. If it's just like a switch or flag that's turned on in the contacts panel, or if there's like an embassy building represented on your capital city. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's just like a little on off. Here we go. Non-aggression pact. This, again, I'm not exactly sure. Are they proposing this to us? Form a non-aggression pact with the Kendergen Democratic Sons. We will be unable to attack each other while this is in effect. Sure. Agree. Run the clock forward a little bit. Let's look under influence here. I don't see the non-aggression pact. We'll let it go past a month here. We'll pause. There it is. Under consumed, non-aggression pact 0.12. So because we are in the diplomatic tradition tree, all of these pacts and agreements we get into, we're getting at half cost. So for any Xeno species that we are trying to, cozy up to, if they're not in the tradition tree, it costs them double. So in a sense, by us being friendly, we're siphoning away their influence, slowing their growth, slowing their ability to claim systems and to make star-based claims and to make claims militarily speaking, territorially speaking, on systems we might have or others. So everything we can get people to lock into with us slows them down, provided they're not in the traditions tree for diplomacy. So playing to our strengths and making them weaker, it's a good strategy. But there it goes. Fleet upgraded, fantastic. What are we working on here? Oh, Zandaban, we've got claimed. And what are we working on right now? Conway is building the mining station. Fantastic. I wouldn't mind those 3 alloy. That's actually pretty nice get right there. What else do we got to do? Oh, alloy. Speaking of alloy, I had an idea. Right now, we've been working up a pretty sizable surplus in energy, minerals, food, consumer goods-ish, although we're hovering right around 0 with our production. What if we sold off a good amount of these surpluses on the market to get a bunch of trade to buy a large lump sum of alloy? Here's my logic. Let's jump into the market. Currently, alloy is at a buy of 5.20. So that's where it's always been. We haven't nudged the needle, although we're not actually purchasing any alloy either. Okay, that's fine. So let's do this. Let's jump into our energy. Let's sell off. We'll do half of all of these. I don't want to go broke. I want to have a little surplus padding, but ultimately we don't need 10,000 energy. So let's sell 5,000 off. Let's go to our minerals. Similar thing. We're producing a lot of extra minerals a turn, and we are using minerals to develop our colonies, but we don't have a need for 7,000 minerals. So let's just sell off, we'll say, I don't want to do 5,000. Let's do 3,000. There we go. You can see we're pushing up our trade quite high. Let's go to food, same thing. Let's sell off 5,000 food. It's way more than we need there. So we are sitting at a pretty good 13K trade. Now we'll jump over to Alloy and buy 1,250, sure, for nearly 10,000 trade. There we go. So you can see we still have a good surplus left in all the categories, but we got a massive lump sum of alloy. Here's the thing, that functionally doubled the cost of alloy per trade. We're up to 10.4, so roughly doubled it. Now, why did I do this? Listen, alloy is always really valuable. What I would not want to get into is, say, a war or a situation in the mid-game where we're being invaded for some reason. We need to build up our fleets or our star bases, defensive platforms really quickly. We need thousands of alloy. And we dump all the trade we have, and we drive this cost up super expensive, making it impossible for us to purchase any more alloy. We liquidate everything we have. We squeeze out all the alloy, and the cost is now 15 trade per alloy. Just out of reach. It's unattainable. We've broken the markets. I would rather bulk up that price now when we're not at war. I'd rather liquidate and get that lump sum now when we don't need it than wait till the clutch moment when we do need it and it's too late. So the trick is this buy rate should drop over a certain amount of time. I don't know if it's a month by month, but let's just watch this. Let's we'll go to normal speed here. Let's just watch the days tick by and watch how this drops here. Oh, went down one already. Okay, I'll pause it there. It looks like every 3 days it's ticking down by 1/100th. So if we're trying to drop 5 total trade, get back down to see, we'll say 5 from 10. That's 5 times 100 is 500 ticks or parts of trade. And it looks like it's about 2 or 3 days per. So I would say 2 times 500, 1,000 to 1,500 days. So we're looking at 3 to 5 years. We should get this back down. So that's perfect. Well before we hit the mid game for our playthrough, this buy rate should be back down to normal. I mean, it'll take several years, yes, but eventually it should come back down. What I'm not 100% sure on is if that's linear. If like the closer we get to normal prices, the more days it'll take per 1/100th of a trade. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to assume it's linear. We'll see. But yeah, let's keep an eye on it. So by the end of our playthrough, I mean, we'll be lucky to get through a few years knowing me, but maybe at 2245 we'll look and it should be roughly back down to 5 or 6 trade per alloy, I'm hoping. We'll keep an eye on that. There's not even really a whole lot we can do with that alloy right now. We're just going to kind of sit on it because we're at our naval cap for now, but hold on. Oh, we're actually almost to our plus 25 naval cap technology, which is good. So we'll have that shortly. Here we go, though. This is very exciting. Archaeological project completed. Evidence has been found indicating that the Cybrex are mining helium-3 from Elisa 2, using their orbital complex to refine the gas before distributing it as fuel to their roving fleets. Interestingly, the energy signature of the antimatter weapon that destroyed the facility is distinctly Cybrex in origin. Why would they destroy their own refinery? That is an excellent mystery. Interesting find. That's another artifact. We must be so close on this event chain. And it gives us society research of 666. Ooh, something's going to happen. Something bad's going to happen. I can tell. Here we go. Hold on. Instruction complete. Where are you at? What am I looking at here? Fearnor Spaceborne at Vicure. All right. I'm sure the Talacurans love us doing that. Let's get the Fearnor Spaceborne out of there. There's not really a whole lot. We grabbed the Zandaban system already, right? We've got the Conway working on those mining stations now. So let's pull the Spaceborne out to Rantamario. No. Rantamario is like the worst possible system. I would leave that till literally the end of the game or never claim it, maybe. Let's go to Escalon. Because we do have a few unsurveyed systems right out here. There could be a planet. And if we're I'm not saying there is, but if there was like a planet right here, we would have to be able to claim. So we might as well start working on grabbing these. Only if none of the other unclaimed systems have rare resources like, exotic moats or anything like that. None of them have archaeological sites. None of them have planets that we need. I mean, there's definitely some tundra worlds. Tundra world. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just grab the Fear No Spaceborne and have them go to Escalon. And can we claim that? Yeah, might as well. At this point, we have enough influence. All right. That'll get them out of our hair. And let's just make sure we don't have any ships sitting right now, not doing anything. Kuganamon, what are you up to? All right, they must have just finished a research project, probably on the Cybrex thing, if I had to guess. Hold on. Situation log, precursor Cybrex. Oh, we are so close. We're one away, folks, from the Cybrex artifact. It's going to be a big event chain. We'll get something really nice for that, like with any luck, an entire planet or something. So usually that's one of the main, depending on the playthrough you do, there's like 5 or 6 precursor alien species. Randomly, when you start a new game, it chooses one of those species to be preeminent in the galaxy you're existing in. I think that the conceit is that all those precursors exist in your galaxy, but only one of them is relevant to where you're at or your place in time within your galaxy, right? This is my guess. So in this case, we got the Cybrex. But when you complete that event chain for any of the precursors, you only get one. It leads to something pretty good. Usually the equivalent of an entire colony or something like that. An Echinopolis or a megastructure. Might be megastructures for the Cybrex, because they're kind of into megastructures. Could be a Gaia world colony, something like that, but fingers crossed here. All right, so run the clock. I really just want to get through some gameplay. We may take... Oh, hold on. Sorry, did we not do something to Kuganamon? We did not. Okay, my bad. I see we have all of our events worked on right now. So the Atalanti is finishing that anomaly there. Let's maybe have the Kuganamon do the archaeological site at Rigel. No, they're not. They don't have the archaeology specialty. Let's do this with them. Let's have them back up and maybe help in this arm of the galaxy. I think this is kind of the last area. There's no anomalies to work on. I'm going to save this archaeological site for our other site. Free Pearl? Yeah, Free Pearl is an archaeologist, and they're going to work on the archaeological sites for us. Just because in Archaeology 2, they're going to work on it much quicker. That's my logic. All right, good enough. Here we go. Kuganamon, go to Dianthe, survey that system. I think everyone's sitting pretty. And I see our galactic community is about to come into session. Oh, no, they're going to vote. There we go. So what just happened was it was current resolution will be passed when it hits this date. And so we'll take a look at that in just a second. And actually, resolution has been passed for buzzword standardization. I hope that's a good one. I think it's a good one. Here we go. Much more exciting, though, for the moment. Ancient Cybrex base. This should be the end of the event chain. The hostile and unforgiving world of Koronagi IA was home to what once appears to have been a large Cybrex base. Nothing remains of it now aside from scattered debris in a large crater. We will have to investigate the site of the base more closely if we are to learn more. Interesting. Issues a special project, Ancient Cybrex base. Chain of events leads to another chain of events. Let's pause. We have a new research. Very cool. Let's jump into here. Ancient Cybrex base available. Great. We have a science ship there. Let's just take a look at it real quick. Oh my gosh. Oh. Wait, are these new? Are these the new Molten Worlds? Shit. Have these always been there? Or is this with the new Infernals pack? That is really cool looking. Oh, I love that. I love that. What does that even mean here? Let's just click on this. This is rocky world that is scorching hot. The atmosphere is thin or non-existent, and lava from the interior flows freely due to constant volcanic eruptions. This type of planet cannot sustain organic life. Right. Maybe infernal or lithivores, possibly. Oh, I feel like, though, I have not seen a molten world. Is that new? I think it's new. Okay, it looks cool as heck. I will say, though, does a volcanically active world, like heavy molten, have no atmosphere or thin atmosphere? I feel like the amount of volatiles that the stirring of the crust and mantle would just put gigatons of gas into the atmosphere on a yearly basis, right? I mean, just for billions of years. I mean, I think of the moon Io. The moon Io around Jupiter is roughly the size of Earth's moon, but it's molten because of tidal heating, and like it's got like a thin sulfur crust. I guess it doesn't have that much of an atmosphere, but why not? With all those active volcanoes, I guess because it's so cool that the atmosphere freezes and then like falls back on the surface. Because when you look at pictures of Io, it has all those interesting black and white and yellow patterns all over. That must be it freezing out. The atmosphere freezes out. And also, I know Jupiter has super intense radiation, so maybe it strips away some of the atmosphere. Question. But I think of a world like Venus, which is also volcanically active, and it has a thick atmosphere. Earth is volcanically active. I think we have dozens or hundreds of active volcanoes on the planet Earth, and we have a pretty thick atmosphere. Question. I just don't think that it would have a thin or non-existent atmosphere. There's just no way it can. Okay. This is enough science talk. Here we go. Resolution has been passed. Up next. Okay, where do we see what resolutions were passed? Well, hold on. What was this? The resolution was buzzword standardization. I don't exactly know what that does. Hold on. Let's go to resolutions. There we go. Buzzword standardization. Diplomatic weight from economy plus 20%. That's really good for us. That is one of the ones we wanted. And then they should also have up next regulatory facilitation, which is more diplomatic weight from economy. That's good. We've upvoted that. After that, we have readied shield, which we've upvoted, and that is diplomatic weight from fleet power. And we've downvoted guardian angels at. Okay, very cool. Those look good. And by the way, let's jump into the situation log. Let's go to the victory conditions. The reason we want that is we see economic strength 1,292. If we look at the Kendogen, there are 1,000, Freestonians 900, Talakiran 850. So that's why we want to go for those diplomatic, for the galactic resolutions that favor us. We have a strong economy, at least compared to everyone we can see. We know there's a sixth alien species in here at number 3. They may be very close to them, so we may be helping them, but in general, we're getting a lot more power against everyone else. Let's zoom back out. Let's zoom back in, and that resolution is right there, is active. You can see the check mark. So in general, let's just open these all up here. We have weak support, meaning things we haven't voted on, but that would be supported weekly. We have active. We have proposed, which is these ones over here. What else? Weak support, intermediate support. Oh, that's cool. That's interesting to know. That means that between the Talakiran and the Kendogen potentially supporting it, if we were to support it as well, it would most likely pass if we wanted it to, which is cool. What else do we have? Intermediate support, weak support, weak and proposed, intermediate, proposed, intermediate, and weak support. Is there any? Well, hold on. I don't want to go through all these, but let's just look at the intermediate support. Is there anything we would want to try and get past really quickly? We have enough influence. We have 127 influence. Hold on. Pan-galactic recycling weakens the economy. Diplomatic weight from economy. We don't want that. Cooperative research channels. Diplomatic weight from technology. No, we're Luddites. That would not help us. We have extremely weak technology. Enemy of my enemy is fleet power, but it's 200 influence. We're not going to mess with that. And we've already got the Ready Shield proposed. Same thing, Guardian Angels Act. Yeah, we don't want either of those. What about minor military sanctions? No, I think that's a reaction. This is literally if you want to sanction somebody. I think empires that have been denounced are in breach of galactic law. Okay. We're not going to mess with that because we are not in breach of galactic law. Principality of Fula is in breach of galactic law. Yeah. That one's subtly different. I think that's actually reactive to what's going on. And form a galactic market? Oh. Begin the birth of the galactic market event chain. Weak support. Why is it weak support? Empires likely to support this resolution are the Talakiran. That's our close ally. Or, I mean, not... Are we allies? Yeah, we're allies. We're not in a federation, but we're allies. I would like that. I would love to try and get the galactic market formed, and then I would like to try and put us in charge of the galactic market, if possible. That would be nice. I would do that. For 100 influence? That's really expensive. And it's only got weak support. Here's the thing, though. The fact that the Talakiran... Where are they sitting? They're sitting at 660. We're at 1.1k. Together, we could probably push through anything. There's only the 4 of us in the galactic community. Whoever that 5th unknown alien empire is in position 3 in the rankings isn't part of the galactic community. So I think we could force that through. That's an interesting thing about playing on a small galaxy, is if you have a good amount of diplomatic weight, you can really bully your way around in the galactic community. We can more or less force through whatever we want. Let's do this. Let's jump in here. Let's go to galactic. Let's do it. Let's yes, propose it. Here you go. You can see that it is popped in at number 3. Oh gosh, it's barely above the Guardian Angels Act. That's all right. And we have supported it. So if we jump back to community, we click on it, we are in support. Can we call in a favor? No, we have no favors available. Okay. We eventually will get favors via the tradition picks that we have. I think we can get favors, but we haven't gained any yet. So we'll just leave that set for the time being. And Senate is in recess. In 716 days, the resolution in the resolution queue with the most diplomatic weight will move onto the Senate floor. Oh my gosh. I just realized, I think I realized something. I've never paid attention to this before. So not only can you throw around your diplomatic weight with your buddies and try and really push which way votes go, up or down, but it seems like if you throw your support behind stuff, you can, if they only make votes every so often, meaning that when the Senate is in session, they don't actually vote on everything. They only vote on what's at the top of the queue. Then you can prevent some resolutions from ever even coming to the floor. Think it's like the filibuster, functionally, right? I mean, so that's 2 levers of power you can have by having superior diplomatic weight. Ooh. We may be able to really dominate the galaxy because of our diplomatic power. All right. In general, I would like the galactic market. Currently, we are on what's called an internal market, meaning it's just our government putting stuff on the market, and our private commercial sector all within our empire. That's the internal market, so only we affect it. Once you form the galactic market, you get there's a term for it, the broad market, the external market. There you go. I think is what it's called. And at that point, all the other alien civilizations, what they are selling and buying, are taken into account for the prices on the market. So in particular, if we were to form the galactic market, it would supersede our internal market, and it could erase those crazy costs that we've driven up on Alloy, possibly. I mean, I don't really think that's like a game mechanic. I didn't do that intentionally, but I think it would reset that, or it would set it to whatever the galactic market rates are. So, interesting thought. There we go. Resolutions passed. We've looked at that enough. Let's look at our technological research. Naval cap plus 25. A fleet does not run on zeal alone. To ensure steady access to critical supplies, we should organize our logistic corps into dedicated support vessels. New research. Here we go. Form Federation. Yes, we've been waiting for this one. Desperately want it. I'm not saying there's not other useful stuff in here, but this is what we want. Form Federation. We will have that in 17 months. Fantastic. We should get to that shortly. Let's run the clock. I keep saying I'll do that. I don't. So all the while this is running, theoretically, alloy costs are going to continue to drop. The Atalanti, what are you doing? They have no orders. Oh, that's right. They have a research project right here. Research and system. Ancient Cybrex base. Oh, good. As soon as they finish that, we should cap off the Cybrex event chain, which will be huge. So 180 days. Let's just run the months forward here. Following the fungi, tracking the signal emitted by the mycelium proved to be a tricky business. Our puzzled scientists finally managed, by using air quotes, using mushrooms to peer into additional dimensions, like you do. Details are scarce about what this entails. But in any case, the operation was a success and has pointed us towards a destination. Ooh, this could be a new system, a hidden system, hidden planet, maybe. Begins the fungal trail event chain. All right, hold on, I'm going to pause real quick. Let's take a look at this. Situation log. Fungal trail. And I will track it on the map. Let's zoom out here. Son of a beep. Hold on. That's it, right there. And it is in Free Estwanian Confederacy territory. Okay. That sucks. Hold on. I don't know if it's not actually showing me. Oh, yeah, there it is. Right here around the star. Okay. Well, we're hosed. There's... I'm going to say, is there anything we could do about it? The two things I could think of off the top of my head, when you are following an event chain or multiple event chains, they can have locations that are not in your territory. Your options are to become friendly. So, like, if this mycelium mushroom event was over here in Talacuran space, it wouldn't be an issue. We have open borders with Talacuran. We just send our science ship in, and they would research the anomaly. Now, you can't survey a star system that is in a territory controlled by an alien. Excuse me. It's coffee. But if it was a research project, we could do it. So we're unlikely to get the Free Estwanians to open their borders to us. So for instance, if I just grab one of my science ships here. Right there. Free Estwanian Confederacy has closed their borders towards us. We can't get in there. So we could improve diplomatic relations with them. If we jump over to contacts, we've deliberately declared them a rival. They've declared us a rival. We've closed borders. I think they're probably actively hurting relations with us. I don't even know. They have casus belli on us. Yeah. It would take decades. The real trick with diplomacy, I mean, we're playing in a small galaxy with very few Xenos, which is nice. It helps. But we only have so many envoys. Right now, I think if we look up here at our envoys assigned... Ooh, we've only assigned 3 of our 4, so we do have an extra envoy potentially. And right down here we see Mad Baldessari is improving relations with the Talakiran. Big Alex is improving relations with the Kendojin. Twice Hang Lawrence doesn't have a job, and Inik Vardanaka is busy improving relations with the Talakiran hegemony. Awesome. There are only so many levers we have. Only so many envoys. If we want to work on getting our federation, which is the technology we're trying to cap off right now, we have to log in. We have excellent relations with the Talakiran. That's perfect. That changed by a +1 last month, which is shockingly small. I have to actually be careful because one of the their opinion of us, our opinion of them. This is the only breakdown of relations that we actually can see clearly. If you come up here, we don't have enough intel to see why the Kendojin like us or don't like us, but we're at a +3 with the Kendojin. I'm assuming our one envoy is giving us that positive thing, and I think we made an embassy with them and whatever else. So we're improving relations. We don't have that option with the Free Estuanians. Now I have one envoy left. I could send to try and improve relations with them. Do I want to do that? Maybe. Maybe I could. Long story short, it would take forever to get them back to just 0 to get them to open the borders to us. So I don't think that's a real good way to do that. The other way would be to declare war and to invade. I don't necessarily think that you would have to capture all the systems and keep them. You may be able to drive a fleet in 1, 2, 3 to Orvale and then send a science ship in after. And you may be able to have the science ship research the project even while the war is going on. No, I think you'd have to be a little bit careful because if any alien ship popped into the Orvale system, I think your science ships would do an emergency FTL jump out, even if you had your fleet in there with them. But I don't know that I've ever tried that, but I think it could work, where you just push in, you flip the starbase over while the war is active. You haven't even captured you've captured them, but you haven't diplomatically claimed them and made them yours, because you can't do that until the war is over. But it's possible you could sneak a science ship in. You may have to push your fleet one system further to keep enemy fleets from getting in there. And then if your science ship had 180 days to research the project, maybe they could do it. Either way, we're pacifists, first of all, so we don't have the option of just willy-nilly declaring a war and invading. So that's not going to happen. So I think for all intents and purposes, I'll leave the highlight on that just to remind me it's there, like this little hexagon thing, but I don't think we're getting access to that anytime soon. So that was a lot to talk about. Nothing. Let's run the clock. Sorry about that. Science ship Wise doesn't have a job to do. Why not? What do you guys? You're right here. Did you finish your research project at QE? No, yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. So we're going to send them on to Dianthe. Survey the system. Everybody's got a little job to do. We got multiple science ships moving ahead there. We have, archaeological site pending. Oh, God. Abandoned biolab. The facility's interior contains a myriad of abandoned medical machines, treatment chambers, and a morgue. In the cadaver storage pods, we found partially preserved organic remains with signs of disease and deformation. The presence of security doors, surveillance rigs, and holding cells has led Red Tia to conclude that some were kept here against their will. Fantastic. I'm getting vibes of The Thing. And I'm sure something horrible is going to happen to Red Tia in our science ship. I have no doubt. We salvaged a few equipment parts, but almost everything is decayed and markedly limited data remained in the computer systems. We recovered some files, but they require translation. Yeah, interesting. That's a big dump of society research again at 666. It's nothing good is going to come out of here. We'll keep going though. I am definitely concerned for Red Tia's safety at this point. Oh, here we go. This should be a big one, folks. Event chain precursor Cybrex. We have found debris on Koronagi IA from a large ship that does not appear to have been of Cybrex origin in the crater that was once the site of their base, the Cybrex base. Our archaeologists speculate that the ship belonged to one of the organic civilizations under Cybrex attack. If so, it may have been sent to collide with the base on some kind of suicide run. No other explanation for the destruction of the base has been found. An interesting find. So it's one Cybrex artifact recovered in a big lump of engineering. I don't exactly know why our engineering is coming in at 498 and our society's coming in at 666. There's a big disparity between the two. Okay, here we go. Cybrex home system located. This is good, folks. This could be an entire planet or megastructure. I would prefer a planet because we could like colonize it right away. Megastructures would require us to get megastructure engineering technologies, which is like way out of reach for our civilization. After intense study of our recovered Cybrex artifacts, scientists on Fula have managed to deduce the exact galactic coordinates of a system the ancient machines referred to as Cybrex Prime, possibly where their civilization retreated after their aborted attempt to exterminate all sapient organic life. We should launch an expedition to the system before someone else beats us to it. Contact the nearest science ship. Ends the precursor event chain for the Cybrex. Begins the Cybrex home system event chain. And it gives us this issue special project Cybrex Alpha. This is event chains and event chains. I'm going to pause that right there. Here we go. Wow. Right there. Looks weird. Must be a little drawing artifact. Cybrex Alpha is the system. Okay. Let's jump up to our situation log. Cybrex home system. Cybrex Alpha. All right. Well, we know where it's at. And actually, we should have a free science ship. Oh, right here. The Atalanta wrapped up at Koronagi. They got a ways to go. Yeah, let's send them back. Research the project. And actually, we want to research the project and we want to survey the system. Let's pull out one of our two science ships here. It doesn't matter who. We'll just grab one of them. We're going to send it back to survey there. To me, this Cybrex Alpha is the primo most important thing to do. And actually, let's grab the Fear No Spaceborne. They're going to Escalon. Wow. No, we'll have them keep going to Escalon. Let's pull this guy back from Nishpan. You don't have anything to do there. Bones of a Dead Star is just sitting there. Let's have them move down. We'll move there and we'll have them build a station there, whatever it's going to take, in case there's a planet. I don't know. Let's run the clock forward. That's a huge gain for us, so we've been working on that more or less since the start of our playthrough here. All right. Hold on. We got some stuff going on. Council agenda available. We're currently working on We Come in Peace, and the available agenda is Evolving Society, which is a Unity boost. That's cool. I actually do want to cap off We Come in Peace, though. That gives us additional trust, reduces border friction. This is good. We want to lock in our federations, so that's coming up here. So we'll close that down. And where's the constructor? What do we construct? Zandaban, all done. Okay, perfect. Let's move the Conway up. I don't know how much there's for them to do right now. I could send them to Cybrex Alpha. Hold on. Or to Escalon. We'll just move them to Rawltree for now. I don't really have a project for them immediately. Everyone's pretty busy here. We have a lot of Tundra worlds. Tomb World. Oh, that's right. Rawltree Prime was... Rawltree Prime, we lost that colony. It's just a Tomb World now. Here we go, though. Lost to bureaucracy. Oh boy, we better not have lost another colony. Due to major clerical error, parts of Troydon Prime have fallen behind in infrastructure, maintenance, and accommodation services. The people live in rather bleak conditions and will not tolerate it for long. Remedy these problems will cost us time and effort. All right, unfortunate. Added the sprawling slums and industrial wasteland to Troydon Prime. Gosh, hold on. We got to deal with this quickly. And we have a research. Okay, let's do the research first. What was it? It was coil gun? Okay. Really? Research coil gun? That doesn't seem like that good of a technology. All right. Here we go. Let's choose a new one. Basic strike craft, ceramo metal armor, afterburners, frigate, crystal infused plating. It's always tricky. You get some of these little technologies from your mining drones, Tiyanki space crystals. You can get avenues for like unique technology. The question is, how much better is crystal infused plating, which gives us ship hull points plus 65, cool, compared to ceramo metal materials, armor hit points. So they're not the same thing. Ceramo metal armor is its own thing. Crystal infused plating is hull specifically. It would take space nuts. So this is something to consider. If we did crystal infused plating, we would need to have access to rare crystals, which we don't have access to. And not even in the future. There's no rare crystals anywhere in our occupied empires, space within the galaxy. So I think crystal infused plating isn't particularly useful to us. What else is there? Let's go after the ceramo metal armor, because we see it opens other infrastructure paths, and it works well for our defensive fiction of our playthrough. So not a lot of great engineering paths there. So things I want to watch out for is problems on... Which planet was it? Which planet had the problems? Troitum? Hold on. One of these. I'm just looking here for this. Gosh dang it. What was that message? Someone gained... Oh, maybe it's not anything we have to do anything with. Maybe it just added blockers, right? Hold on here. Sorry, my nose is extremely runny. Here we go. Troitum Prime gained an industrial wasteland and a sprawling slum. We can clear those out with energy, though. And they don't have anything else to work on? Yeah, let's... it'll take 120 days and 300 energy, which we have plenty of. We'll get 2 generator districts back, and we will get 100 pops. Maybe, in a sense, that is beneficial. So let's do that. And while we have this open, let's just cycle through really quickly. We can clear industrial wastelands on Fula. Oh my gosh. Yes and yes. I'm just going to see if there's any other blockers. You can see there's a variety of blockers, but these are grayed out. We don't have the technology to clear dangerous wildlife or deep sinkholes or quicksand basins. But it does usually sort the ones you can clear to the top of this list. So we don't actually have to scroll down and look at everything, right? We can just cycle through very quickly and see all the available ones. So let's just click through. I don't see any other ones that we have the technology to clear. So that'll give them something to do. We burned a little energy. That's something you can do with surplus energy, is clear blockers. I think in all cases, blockers take energy to clear. So just be warned. Otherwise, before we advance any further, we kind of need to take care of our consumer goods deficit. Can we do that through the market? And we're sort of buying as many consumer goods as I dare to buy. I don't want to fiddle with that. Let's look at our alloys. We're down to 8.88, so that's continuing to drop, which is good. Yeah. Industrial world, factory world. Who is better suited to take care of... Oh, wow. Yeah, they're both pretty good at it. We got a lot of extra jobs. Yeah, that's interesting. Artisan jobs, 200. What am I missing here? Should I not see artisan jobs? Because we have a civilian industry. Whoa. I feel. Let's go to management economy. Oh my gosh, I've deprioritized them. I did that because I wanted to make sure people went into the gas plant engineering because we needed enough exotic gases to support all of our medical clinics. Okay, that makes sense. Let's go back to Elysia Prime. Here is our industrial world. Can they use some more jobs? Let's see. They don't have any extra people. I could down promote the enforcers to make more metallurgist positions at Elysia Prime. I think that is a suitable idea right now, because if I look back at Wegmore Prime, I want Wegmore to keep pushing forward on medical workers to grow their very small population. So yeah, let's have Elysia Prime handle this. Let's go to our civilian industries. Let's put in another civilian industry. That'll be done in 240 days. And then let's go to the economy tab. Let's open this up and let's push down armed forces. Our crime rate's 0, so we should be able to do this without too much trouble. Let's just deprioritize this all the way. It's going to push these workers into the unemployed position. You can see right there, 100.
Construction complete.
I'm just going to watch this. I think they're going to drop into the civilian category, which is fine. I'm just making sure crime doesn't climb. Let me pause there. So in 240 days, they'll finish that. Those 100 unemployed people, civilians. So unemployed to civilians. Civilians should then go into the artisan jobs, thus correcting this massive -7 we have. But otherwise, we have a new technology available. What do we got? Federation code. Fantastic. Form a federation. A federation must be more than goodwill and shared ambition. This code provides the groundwork for unified interstellar order, ensuring cooperation and stability among its members. Fantastic. That's something we've been waiting for a long time. We're going to take a look at that in just a moment. But first, we will choose our new society research. Okay. We have 4 options. Edict Fund. I don't think we need more Edict Fund. I think we've got all we want. Starbase capacity +2. Okay. We've already got 2 extra starbase, so it's not a bad thing, especially when you're using them for commercial purposes. You put them in a nebula, doing a nebula refinery, solar panels for energy, hydroponic farms for food. You can even put naval headquarters or naval offices or whatever it's called and get more naval cap. We'll skip on the star bases though. We'll skip on the Edict Fund. We just don't need those things. We have dangerous wildlife removal, potentially. And we have eco simulation. This would make all of our farmers plus 20% productive. And food from starbase constructions plus 10%. So in Soil Reclamation Center, I care less about that. But these are both okay. This is cheap, though. You know what? This is cheap. Let's just do it. Let's get the little bit of farm, because we can see we're hovering right at 0 surplus for our food right now. I think we're selling some. Let's go to the market. Yeah, we're selling just a little bit. So we are actually getting really tight on food because we don't want to make an entire colony dedicated to farming. This is a good way to keep up with our food needs. It's just to dip into that research, and we will have it pretty quickly. Yeah, 15 months. Yeah, that's awesome. So where are we at? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Yes, hold on. We have some headroom on our naval cap, and we have plenty of alloys. So let's work on that, just so we're keeping that up to date. So let's get some Trident class. We'll throw 6, 7 of them in there, and then let's go down to Ditchrum. Again, we're putting these at our defensive choke points. We'll throw 5 or 6 into there, and we'll just try and nudge that up to get our cap peaked out. So we'll get that handled, and otherwise we're ready to go to contacts, and let's just look over everything here. Free Estonian Confederacy, we're sitting at horrible relations of roughly a -1,000. That's not going to change anytime soon. Kendogen are steadily improving relations. We're well into the positive at a +3. The reasons, closed borders. Check this out. I was curious. We weren't able to see this before, but our intel has gotten good enough to where we can now get a breakdown of the relations with the Kenogen. So that must have happened when we went into the positive territory. Question, I'm guessing, but that has changed from last session. We weren't able to see that. So one thing I'm noticing, though, I'm looking into here, our opinion of them is at a -10 because they're xenophobic bigots. Them, not us, I think. I think that's them. But also closed borders. So we have opened our borders with them, I'm guessing? Again, we're not looking at the freest 20s, so we're looking at the Kenogen here, all right? So when I mouse over this, our opinion of them is at -20 because they've closed their borders to us. That's an interesting thing. That's kind of like harming relations, like where you're actively gonna, you're not deteriorating your opinion of them, you're deteriorating their opinion of you, right? And functionally closing your borders is a pretty big hit, I mean, relative to a plus 150, but yeah, opening your borders doesn't give you anything, but closing your borders does hurt. So keep that in mind. Their opinion of us doesn't have that, though, because we have opened our borders to them. Okay. Can we get a federation with them? I don't think so. I think you have to get beyond positive. Let's jump into diplomacy. You can see here, we're in the friendly territory, and we have to get above 750 to get to excellent relations. I think that's what it takes to do a federation. We'll find out here. So, that being said, improve relations. We could improve relations more. We actually have another envoy available. We'll put a pin in that. We don't need a spy network. We don't want to harm relations. Offer trade deal. Break non-aggression pact. No. Guarantee independence. I'm sure they would like that. Guarantee from us. Like, we won't subjugate you. However, and we might not. But I potentially wanted to play around with subjugation just for the sake of the tutorial. So for the moment, I'm not going to guarantee their independence. We're going to hold off on that. Closed borders, no. Recall embassy, no. Declare war, yeah, nothing else is useful here. Former commercial pact, former research agreement. Oh. We could do both of those. Yeah. Realistically, the commercial pact, they'll probably get more out of it than us because we have a much larger economy. However, we may get a little bit more out of the research agreement than them because we're so bad at technology. So let's do that. Here we go. We can learn 3 physics, 2 society, 7 engineering, and share 4, 2, and 3. So if you combine all those together, we would get more out of that. Oh yeah. Let's do that. Let's do wait. Sorry, they are focusing on their inward perfection and have little interest in diplomacy with other. Oh, they're inward perfectionists. Where do we see that? Right there. Okay. Well, the good news is that we're able to have good relations at the very least, but that sucks because we can't do a commercial pact or form a research agreement. I wonder if we may never be able to get them to join a federation then. I have a feeling here. Hold on. Let's see. Does it tell us? Cannot have rivals. Cannot form defensive pacts. Cannot form migration treaties, research agreements, commercial pacts. Cannot guarantee independence. Cannot join federations. That's important to know. Sorry, I'm cold. I think I'm a little bit sick actually because I'm just like, my nose is running. That's important to know because we cannot have forced subjects, but we still may be able to subjugate them. And it kind of resolves the issue. Listen, they're not going to get rid of that civic, but now by kind of paying attention to this, we realize they will never join a federation, so we don't ever need to worry about it. All we need to worry about is getting enough power, leverage over them to force them to subjugate to us. So that will be, that's kind of what we were always intending. So, okay, cool. I don't think there's anything else here we need to worry about for the time being. Let's jump back to who? Yes, to the Talakiran. Fantastic. Close that down. Here we go. Improve relations, form federation, green check mark. Form a federation. Once established, we can try to invite other empires to join it. Yeah, we have the green check mark. I'm guessing the only requirement with that is having friendly relations, right? Being above 750. That's a hard target to hit for sure. But yeah, why would you want to join a federation with anyone you weren't at least friendly with? Would be my guess. So, form the federation. What does this mean? Form a federation with this empire. Once established, we can try to invite other empires to join if their trust with to join it. Period. Their trust with us will increase by +1 each month up to a maximum of 125. It will cost us a half of an influence each month. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there should be a period right there between those two things. Galactic Union, random name. Do we want to think of a name? Would that be clever? Well, I don't want a random name. We should come up with something. I'm blinking right now, though. Base intel on Federation members is set to a minimum of 60, modified by Federation centralization. Federation modifier, diverse ethics impose a 50% smaller penalty to Federation cohesion. Fantastic. What's the name for this here? Space Friends. Am I spelling friends right? I'm such a bad speller. Well, you know what? If it's misspelled, it's just gonna be misspelled. Space Friends. There you go. Club. Ooh, there you go. We're the Space Friends Club, and their acceptance is 4. Hold on, I'm just trying to see here. We have is that favors? I think that's favors icon. We don't have any. Otherwise, their acceptance is the basis is at a -50, just all the time. Okay, that's where it starts. Friendly attitude +30. I'm not exactly sure where that comes from. War philosophy forbids wars of aggression -30. That's our war philosophy. They don't like that? Dang, that's a huge hit. They really don't like the fact that we cannot declare a war of aggression. That's weird. -30 is a massive, massive hit. Opinion of us +43. Cool. I'm not exactly sure where the friendly attitude and the opinion stuff. I'm sure there's ways to look at it. Mutual rival +10, meaning the Freestwanians. I'm pretty sure that's our only rival. So obviously the Freestwanians also hate the Talakiran. Good. Relative power of empires +1, meaning I'm assuming that means we're relatively balanced. I guess it's a small amount though. Would a much weaker empire have a higher positive number, or would it be a negative number? Would a very weak empire have a lower acceptance chance because they are relatively much weaker? I don't know which way that goes. We're at a +1, but I think we're relative parity to each other. Maybe we're a little strong. Yeah. Harmonious collective 0. So let's just hit accept. He will consider the merits of the proposal. I think that's all we can do here then. We're going to let it run and see what happens here, folks. Yeah, that's a big one. Something happened. We did it. XP down. Oh boy. There's some shit going on here. New Federation. Let history record that on this day, the governments of the Principality Fula and the Talakiran hegemony signed a treaty of federation. As founding members of the Space Friends Club, it's killing me whether I spelled friends right. Is it I before E? I think it's I before E. If I misspelled it, I'm going to look like a total jackass. They will now face the future as firm allies. This new galactic union will serve as a shining example to the rest of the galaxy of all that can be accomplished by working together. A new era of interstellar diplomacy has begun. A great day. Enter. I'm pausing there. Spaceborne life form. What the fuck is happening here? Oh, interestingly, it turned them all blue. They were yellow before, but now they're blue because they're our allies. So let's look around here. Who is this? Ghost Ship. Didn't we run into Ghost Ship before? Is Ghost Ship still there? Has Ghost Ship always been there? Ooh, now I want to go. I think the Ghost Ship's always been in the Helios system. I just didn't notice them sitting there. Okay. Who else do we have? Shardlings. Oh, the Talacuran have encountered the Shardlings. Oh shit, are they gonna get in a fight with them? Maybe. We obviously are neutral with them, so they don't bother us. Hopefully they're neutral. Let's just see. Are they fighting? I want to see what happens.
System survey.
Right, I'm pausing again. Okay. It doesn't seem like the Shardlings are attacking them, which is cool. So much shit is going on my screen here. We're at 1 hour. Do we save this for next time? There's so much to look at. No. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to stop there because there's just a lot of stuff happening. Traits, system survey, that's Cybrex Alpha. This is the event for Cybrex Alpha. We have to look at our Federation, what it means. Archaeological site pending and XP down, losing Federation XP. I have no idea what that means, but we're going to find out. Okay. I also see our energy costs have gone into the dumps. We're still waiting for consumer goods to get fixed up, but we think Elysia Prime should solve that issue, or some of it, in our food technology. Okay. This is a good stopping point. That's it. If you watched, thank you so much. Next session, we will be right into Federation, the Space Friends Club. All right. Take care, folks.